About 2 months ago, I stopped eating dinner almost every night of the week so that my boyfriend and I could have enough food left over to have lunch the next day. This was before we were about to lose our food stamps. Mind you, we both work.
I don't think that we really realize the depth that this is, the damage that this is going to do, but the women, the mothers, and the families, but the mothers especially, who are going to go without meals so their children don't have to.
A woman just lost her job for mocking people on food stamps. She made a video eating burnt toast, taunting struggling families about what they did with their October benefits, condescending questions while chewing store-bought bread and processed peanut butter. Her employer saw it. Corporate fired her. Here's the twist. She used to be on food stamps herself, lost custody of her kids, lost her benefits, then spent her time attacking the very program that once helped her. But this isn't just about one bitter woman and her toast. It's about how we've been trained to fight each other over crumbs while billionaires hoard everything, to punch down instead of up. Today we're breaking down what happened, why karma came for her, and what this says about all of us. Welcome back to Mind Mirror. Let's get into it.
What did you do with October's food stamp money? What'd you do?
Have you heard the latest about the toast eating food stamp lady? Apparently, she's lost her job. Corporate did not agree with her looking down her nose on people who receive food stamps benefits. So, let me ask you this. To the food stamp lady, what did you do with this month's check? Considering you won't be getting a check for November. Did you splurge on everyday needs like food, your clothing, your shelter, water, electricity? Or did you save up a little pocket full of sunshine for November? Better yet, what did you do with the other half of that burnt processed toast, peanut butter, and butter that you had? Did you save some for your meal next month? Better yet, let me ask you this. Did you save it for Thanksgiving? Because it looks like you're going to be the one visiting the food pantry, getting the turkey and all the trimmings. And you can thank the Republicans for that. The word of today is humility. Always remain humble. Because if you don't, God will humble you with a quickness.
Life has a funny way of teaching perspective. When you spend your energy looking down on people instead of understanding their situation, reality delivers a crash course. The average SNAP benefit is $6 per person per day, $2 a meal. Most recipients already work full-time, serving food, stocking shelves, cleaning offices, working and still can't afford groceries. So when someone mocks that struggle while eating store-bought bread and processed peanut butter, the universe corrects that energy. Here's the real question. Why are we comfortable mocking people for needing help but silent when corporations get billions in subsidies?
That's it. That's all. But I do agree. Toast with peanut butter when done right is delicious. Have a good day.
So I'm sure you guys have seen the food stamp lady with the toast taunting everybody about how they spent last month's food stamps, thinking that she's Robert De Niro over here, being like, "What you do last month, huh? Did you buy some soup? Did you buy some beans, huh?" But I gotta say, the Republicans have done an incredible job at brainwashing their own fans, to the point where we have people who don't have very much money scolding and taunting other people who don't have very much money on how they spend their not very much money instead of the billionaires who have all the money. And just to put this in perspective, the average American makes $70,000 a year. Now let's pretend that that is one slice of pizza. If you were having lunch with a billionaire, you would have one slice of pizza and they would be having 1,785 full pizzas. Now, if the billionaire sitting next to you was Elon Musk, he would be sitting on 890,000 full pizzas compared to the slice that you're holding in your hand. And Republicans have done such an amazing job of brainwashing their own fans that they would like to slap the half slice of pizza out of the hands of their fellow American rather than address the 890,000 pizzas that the billionaires are sitting on right now. And while Americans are busy struggling in this terrible economy, Donald Trump is building a fancy ballroom for him and his rich friends. And it's actually fascinating. I think scientists will study this time on how people were so easily swindled by these billionaires. All they have to do, apparently, is keep their sights focused on Antifa and immigrants, and apparently they can just run off with all the pizza. Anyway, guys, it's all very disheartening, but one thing that makes me feel a little bit better is the fact that we aren't on the team of people who taunt other people for being hungry. At least we're not on that team. At least we get to be in a group of champions.
One slice of pizza versus 890,000 pizzas. That's not hyperbole. That's the actual wealth gap. And we've been so successfully manipulated that we're fighting over crumbs while someone else hoards the entire bakery. Every time you hear welfare queens or food stamp fraud on cable news, you're being redirected. They want you mad at the single mom buying groceries with EBT, not at the defense contractor getting a $10 billion no-bid contract. They want you furious about someone using food stamps to buy steak, not at the billionaire paying less in taxes than a teacher. It's a magic trick, and it works because it's easier to blame someone you can see than someone you'll never meet. Meanwhile, billionaires are buying social media platforms for $44 billion like it's a hobby purchase, making more in a minute than most people make in a year. But sure, the real problem is the family getting $200 a month in food assistance. We've been trained to attack sideways instead of punching up, and that's exactly how they designed it.
Who are thoughtful, smart, and empathetic. Group number 7. You know what I'm talking about. All right, guys, hopefully you're having a good start to the week, and I love you, and I'll see you down in the comments. All right.
The taxpayer's responsibility, or if it's her 2,000 followers on TikTok's responsibility to send her money via Cash App, Venmo, whatever she's trying to get, there's a problem. There's an entitlement problem. Why are people having children thinking that it's not their responsibility to feed their kids, but taxpayers? This is why so many people are crashing out right now about this bill and the fact that work requirements are now tightened. There are a lot of people that have been living off of...
I'm dry as toast lady. You know me because I made a video about the poor who won't get food stamps in November. But I intentionally left out some important facts about SNAP benefits because I'm self-righteous and undereducated. For every $1 that someone spends in SNAP benefits, it benefits the economy by $1.80. 74% of Americans who receive SNAP benefits are working full-time, and the other 26% are either disabled or elderly. Losers.
Let's break down the actual economics here, because this matters. For every $1 spent on SNAP, the economy gets $1.80 back. That's not welfare. That's stimulus. When people buy food, the money cycles through grocery stores, distributors, farmers. It multiplies through the economy. 74% of SNAP recipients work full-time. The other 26%, elderly or disabled. These aren't lazy people gaming the system. These are people working at Walmart, McDonald's, Dollar General, places that pay so little their employees qualify for government assistance while the companies post record profits. In other words, we're subsidizing corporate profits. Walmart doesn't pay a living wage, so taxpayers fill the gap. That's the actual scam, not the people using food stamps. And here's the kicker. The woman mocking people for being on SNAP? She used to receive food stamps herself, lost custody of her kids, stopped qualifying, and now she's vilifying the very program that helped her. That's not righteousness. That's amnesia.
And SNAP actually incentivized big corporations to pay their workers less, so shareholders get more profits while the workers struggle to buy food or pay for rent. You know what else I didn't tell you? I used to receive food stamps, but I lost custody of my kids, so now I don't get them anymore. So now I'm going to villainize the impoverished because it's really easy.
You won't guess what I just found out while I was doing Bible study. So the update is that apparently the food stamps on Toast Lady lost her job. And some people have said, well, how is she gonna pay her rent now? And my question is, what did you do with October's rent? What did you do with October's employment? What'd you do? What did you do with October's toilet paper? Sounds to me like them kids the state took away from you come over for a supervised visit. Maybe for Thanksgiving, that you haul ass down to that food bank. All the fixings and trimmings too. Butter's a luxury, so no more butter. And maybe think about the fact that you are so much closer to being on the street than you'll ever be to Elon Musk.
Peanut butter toast lady lost her job. In case you missed it, there's this lady who made a video eating peanut butter toast talking about how she's making fun of people who have received SNAP benefits. And she's like, what did you spend last month's money on? Girl, food! They spent it on food! And then as she eats her store-bought bread, she definitely didn't make that bread herself based on the shape and the peanut butter that is processed. She asks if they bought processed junk or if they stocked up on pantry staples. And I guess because she just lost her job, she's going to find out how absolutely ridiculous that statement is. She's about to know. Didn't she? Didn't you? God, I really hope she did. I really hope she's been out there creating an ingredient-only household so that she can try to make something with it for the next 2 months after not receiving her paycheck. Because, lady, get real. If you do not have the capacity to not wish your fellow neighbor to starve to death in their own home, to have kids going to school hungry, to have parents skipping meals so they can feed their kids, if that doesn't make you feel sick that it is happening in and around your neighborhood to people who voted like you, to people who didn't vote like you, people who look like you, who don't look like you, girl, bye. You're not on the team.
If your reaction to people losing food assistance is anything other than concern, check your humanity settings. Losing SNAP means parents skipping meals so their kids can eat, kids going to school hungry, families choosing between food and medication. This is real suffering. Every system has fraud, but corporate tax evasion, wage theft, PPP loan forgiveness, $200 billion lost during COVID, yet we're worried about someone buying the wrong bread with food stamps? The math ain't mathing.
When you hear that people are going to be losing their SNAP benefits, their food stamps, what is your reaction? Because there is a chance, if you live in America, that your reaction is that doesn't really matter because the people on those programs are going to scam the government out of money anyway in order to maximize their economic opportunity. And if that is your reaction, you either don't have an understanding of how these benefits work, or you don't care about the people on these programs and their well-being. Because the idea that people are scamming food stamps and those services into getting generational wealth or wealth of any means is absolutely ridiculous and is just an attempt to dodge the fact that the government does not provide people with the services that they need in order to squabble about political issues in Congress right now. And there are very important issues being fought for during this government shutdown, and yet nobody wants to help people who need help. And that is ridiculous. And if your take on all of this is, I don't know, maybe they should have used their food stamps from last month. Maybe they should have been more safe and careful with their benefits. I don't even know how to have a discussion with you if that is the out-of-touch way that we're approaching it.
People across America are now threatening to steal from grocery stores if they don't get their EBT by November.
My kids have not eaten in 5 days. It is the taxpayer's responsibility to take care of my kids.
One person said, y'all better stay the F out of my way in these stores because I'm walking out with carts and not paying for anything. Another said, since they want to take my food stamps away, I'm gonna go to effing Walmart, grab anything I damn want, put that S right in the basket, and walk right up to that B. I'm not paying for a damn thing. Another person said, I'm gonna be stealing like it ain't no tomorrow. I'm gonna have one of my cousins with me that'll punch your ass so hard, you'll think a Jet 2 holiday hit your ass if you think I ain't gonna walk out of that store. New York attorney added that SNAP is one of our nation's most effective tools to fight hunger, and the USDA has the money to keep it running. There's no excuse for this administration to abandon families who rely on SNAP or food stamps as a lifeline. This is after the government shut down on Tuesday and a mass text message was sent out to all SNAP beneficiaries warning them of the imminent pause in the program. Let me know what you guys think about this, and as always, I'll keep you guys updated.
I'm not endorsing theft, but understand the desperation behind these statements. When your kids haven't eaten in 5 days, survival instincts override logic. That's what we're seeing. People at the edge, panicking. But here's what's really happening. They want this chaos. They want people so desperate they turn to crime. So they can say, see, They don't deserve help. You can't budget your way out of math that doesn't add up when you're making $12 an hour with $1,500 rent and $600 childcare.
Please tell me y'all seen that video of that lady talking crap about people that are on food stamps and trying to say, oh, what happened to your food stamps in October? Well, they used them for October, obviously. And she's trying to say, well, you can blame the Democrats for that and all that yada yada. And she's like, well, you're gonna be going to the food pantry, getting your little turkeys and all this yada yada. But come to find out, now let me tell you, the comments are a hot mess. And please do not go look at the comments if you want to get into heaven. It's so bad. So come to find out, her job let her go. And now the comments are saying, well, looks like you're gonna be joining the food pantry trying to get that turkey as well. And there ain't gonna be nothing for you. But goes to show, hey, you wanna talk crap and be a nasty minded person and just wish people like all like the worst thing out there. Karma comes and bites, and she likes to hit back whenever she's ready, and she was ready for this one. That means you must have been hitting and being negative for a hot minute. So,
Listen up. So I've connected some dots with this whole food stamp dilemma you might want to listen to. So you already know that food stamps will not be received in the month of November. So 42 million people in America are going to have to budget and figure out where they're going to get food for the next month. So you're probably going to say food banks, right? Well, along with 42 million people going without their food stamps, Amazon just decided to lay off 27,000 people. Also, because of the shutdown, 1.4 million federal workers will not get paid. They just went without a payday. You know where they're going? To food banks. Now, did you know in the spring of this year, Trump canceled 94 million pounds of food aid? He cut $500 million in deliveries from a program that sends U.S. produced meat, dairy, eggs, and produce to food banks and other organizations across the country. And the items delivered through the Emergency Food Assistance Program were some of the healthiest, most expensive items that organizations distribute. The cancellations began in mid-May when over 100 orders of 2% milk bound for 31 states were halted. The record shows that 4,304 canceled deliveries between May and September across 50 states, including Puerto Rico and D.C. Oh, but that's not all he's done. Last month in September, the Trump administration announced it was ending the U.S. Department of Agriculture's annual household food security report. The report measured the percentage of Americans struggling to access enough food. I wonder why he would do that. Probably because he doesn't want everyone to know how much Americans are struggling right now. It's very evident that this is all by design.
94 million pounds of food aid canceled, while Americans are struggling to eat. $500 million cut from food banks. The USDA stopped reporting food insecurity data. Then 42 million people lose their SNAP benefits during a government shutdown. This isn't incompetence. It's strategy. You know why they stopped reporting food insecurity? Because when people can't see the numbers, they can't organize around them. When you hide the data, you hide the problem. It's information warfare. And the timing reveals the plan. Amazon lays off 27,000 people. Federal workers don't get paychecks. SNAP gets cut, all at once. Meanwhile, food banks are already empty because the food supply was pulled earlier this year. So now you've got millions of people with no benefits, no food banks to turn to, and no jobs to fall back on. But here's what they don't realize. This doesn't just affect those people. It affects everybody. When millions can't afford to eat, consumer spending collapses. When consumer spending collapses, businesses fail. When businesses fail, more people lose jobs. The entire economy contracts. It's a controlled demolition.
And for the people who are saying, just go get a job or get an extra job, how are single mothers and fathers supposed to pay for daycare? Do y'all realize how much it is to pay for daycare? Back when my boys were in daycare, it was $150 each week for one kid. Not only that, but the rent is outrageous these days. Let's say you go get a job at the Dollar General. You're making $12 an hour. Your gross income for the month is $1,920. Before taxes. Even for an apartment, it is around $1,000 to $1,500 for rent, if not more, based on your location. So that person can pay for their rent, even if they only have one kid. That's not going to be enough for childcare. They won't be able to pay for their bills. So how would they pay for food? And some people will say, well, go get a better job. Do you shop at the dollar store? Don't you need someone to work there? This is just using basic logic that a lot of people don't seem to have these days. Or they just don't care because this world is full of selfish people. Now, back to my point. If you cannot see that this is all by design, and you can tell it's all by design because almost every article says brace for impact. Here's some more. Brace for impact. And some more. Brace for impact. They did the same thing when we had that pandemic. Yesterday, I told y'all that the UNB's General Counsel provided a letter to USDA on May 23rd of this year stating that there is a bona fide need to obligate benefits for October because they have been provided with multi-year contingency funds that can be used for state administrative expenses to ensure that the state can also continue operations during a federal government shutdown. They have the funds. They're just not releasing them. They want chaos to happen so that they can bring the order. I really hope that this wakes y'all out of y'all's fantasy land because this is not a golden age. Because of these tariffs, our farmers are losing their businesses. Nothing is looking good right now. And again, it's all by design.
You want to know why I'm not having an aneurysm over people losing their food stamps on November 1st? Here's why.
Is it because food stamps don't cause aneurysms? Maybe you lack information that would allow you some empathy. Food stamps are not there to greatly disrupt the lives of the people who have already had great disruptions from financial burdens. See, disruptions to life like this can cause an inability to thrive, especially if you're a young human. Food stamps are there to bridge that time, so at least you have the food while you make it through that financial hardship. I'll make it easy. Let's say you're used to sailing in the Caribbean, but today you wake up and you're sailing the Cape of Good Hope. That is a violent difference. You're going to have a shit ton of studying and figuring it out along the way to do. During that time, at least you get to eat the way you want to. And your kids get to eat the way they're used to. See, the food stamps are there to minimize the damage caused by financial hardship, not create more. Anyway, I hope this helped.
This explanation about food stamps minimizing damage? Perfect. Social safety nets aren't meant to make life easy. They prevent catastrophe while you're going through something difficult. You lose your job? Food stamps keep you fed while you find another one. It's a bridge, not a destination. It's not a lifestyle, it's a lifeline. The reality? Ramen and canned beans. Dollar store groceries. Calculating every purchase down to the cent. But somehow the workers are the problem, while we subsidize Walmart's and Amazon's payrolls through government programs.
So I just finally got confirmation that food stamps is officially cut for next month.
About 2 months ago, I stopped eating dinner almost every night of the week so that my boyfriend and I could have enough food left over to have lunch the next day. This was before we were about to lose our food stamps. Mind you, we both work.
I don't think that we really realize the depths that this is, the damage that this is going to do, but the women, the mothers, and the families, but the mothers especially, who are going to go without meals so their children don't have to. I know that I will absolutely be one of those mothers.
But because we have children and because aftercare and before care is too expensive, I've taken a job that's basically minimum wage so that I can be there to pick up my kids. I cannot fathom what we're gonna do without that food stamp money. Because if I already couldn't eat dinner with that food stamp money,
I'm so tired of seeing people say like, oh, well, maybe if you had a job, you could get your groceries, or, you know what I'm saying, you wouldn't have to depend on stamps. I work full time. Thank you. And I do rely on stamps because guess what? It's not enough money in this economy for me to be able to pay bills and get stuff that we need and provide for my 2 kids. So yes, I depend on stamps. And I have a full-time job. So please know that people out here depend on stamps. It's not because we out here just mooching off the government. It's because we literally need that to provide for our family.
I work hard every single day. I get up every single day and clean houses, and I still rely on food stamps to feed my 6 children because the prices are so high. It's unrealistic to think about not having food stamps. Next month, I'm so terrified because 6 babies are always eating. Plus myself, I eat about 1 meal a day, but still.
This is what poverty actually looks like in America. Not someone lazy waiting for a handout. It's a woman who cleans houses for a living, gets up every day, works hard, and still can't afford to feed her 6 kids without assistance. A mother eating 1 meal a day so her children can eat more. That's not a failure of character. That's a failure of the system. When people say just get a better job, they're disconnected from reality. Someone has to clean houses, stock shelves, work at daycares, serve food. Society needs these jobs, and if those necessary jobs don't pay enough to live on, that's not personal failing, that's exploitation. The cost of living has skyrocketed. Rent, childcare, food, healthcare, everything is up. Wages, flat for decades. Meanwhile, corporate profits are at record highs. But the people doing the work, choosing between dinner and rent.
Seems I may have triggered a lot of you with my last video. I will be going to the police for anybody that is bullying me. And I will be telling my gam because I live with her. I can't tell my kids because CPS done repo them, so. But don't mad about you. Now, where the hell am I? Hi there, girly pop. Welcome to hell. How can I help you? This doesn't even look like hell. Look, there's pictures of flames on the wall. There's no fire. Oh, yeah, I know it don't look like hell right now, but, you know, government shutdown and caused our funding to be, I guess you could say, snapped. You get it? It's a callback joke. Well, it says here you died from choking on a piece of toast. Guess I better call up heaven and tell Mama Cash she ain't the only one to die from choking on a sandwich. You'd get it if you weren't an idiot. No, I can't be in hell. I'm a Christian. I go to church once a week and twice on Sundays. Yes, yeah. Well, you would be surprised how many of you Christians we have down here. Ooh, I got an itch in my cooter. And it won't go away. Oh, yes, that itching sensation in your cooter, that's going to stay with you for eternity. Wait till day 3, it's going to feel like you douched with hot sauce. Whew, it is hot in here. Oh, Lord, is that drag queens on your fan? Oh, yes, it is. RuPaul's Drag Race worked the world. We just went on a field trip to a show. Oh, I really am in hell. Okay, your room is down the hall to the left. I asked you how you're going to sleep at night, but it's not going to be on a mattress or mattress firm. You have an eternally damn day. Oh my God, I cannot wait for the government shutdown to be over so they can turn the AC back on up in here. Whew.
Y'all do know this government shutdown ain't just finna affect people that's getting food stamps, right? While y'all are celebrating so hard for people to not get them, right? The first thing y'all want to say is, oh, get a job, when most of the people who are on EBT, they have a job. They have a job. That's actually a requirement to get EBT if you don't have small kids. Or if you're not elderly or disabled and things like that, yes, you are required to have a job to get EBT. While y'all are so quick to throw out, oh, get a job. There was a mom that even said, I got a job. I needed that EBT. Now she can't pay for her child care. And folks are, oh, well, you can get 2 to 3 jobs. I got it. You can do it too. How's she gonna manage 2 or 3 jobs and try to be a mom with no village? Stop depending on the government. The government is what we are supposed to be, depending on all of us. Where you think your jobs and stuff coming from, bro? What is y'all are praising people not getting EBT no more, not realizing as long as this shutdown go down, it's finna interrupt y'all jobs. It's finna affect y'all jobs. Labor is finna go through the roof. They're finna cut people off, bro. Or they're finna less time y'all hours. My bad, let me fix that because y'all be speaking on my grammar because I am country as hell. Yes, I am. They finna start giving y'all less hours at work. It's not just finna affect the people that get food stamps. Yeah. Y'all are going to have to eat those words up. God don't like ugly. And y'all are being super, super ugly right now, bro. Like, oh, moms, y'all are being so ugly right now. It's not even funny. Y'all are wanting to see people struggle. Yeah, work like the rest of us. Yep, kudos to you. Guess what? You ain't finna be working like that no more. Unless you have your own business. And it's even affecting people with their own businesses. And what, man, hey. Y'all finna have to eat that celebration up. That's all I gotta say. I ain't finna say save my video, mark my words, or none of that. But y'all gonna have to eat them words up, because y'all don't speak less on the less fortunate. Like, this super weird, bro. That's an evil heart to have, bro. Y'all are happy to see people struggle. I agree with y'all with the people that is abusing it, because most of the people that is abusing it, they do got super great jobs, and they found out a way to work their way in the system to get them. I do agree with that, but majority of the people that do have them, because how strict they have made the program now for you to be able to get them, bro, y'all don't even know what the freak y'all talking about, bro. Y'all are just happy to see people down. That's an evil heart to have, bro, but y'all gonna have to eat them words up. Mark that.
You know what's wild? The people cheering loudest about cutting food stamps don't realize they're next in line. This isn't just about SNAP recipients. Government shutdowns create a domino effect that touches everyone. Federal workers lose paychecks, contractors get stiffed, food banks run dry, state programs collapse, and businesses, they're already sharpening the knives, cutting hours, freezing hiring, preparing layoffs. The economy is an ecosystem. You can't remove 42 million consumers without massive consequences. When people can't afford groceries, stores suffer. When stores suffer, they cut staff. When staff gets cut, more people can't afford groceries. It's a death spiral that accelerates with every turn. And here's the part that really gets me. The same people celebrating this think their job is somehow immune. Like economic collapse checks your political registration before it hits. Like your MAGA hat is going to protect you when the recession comes knocking. It doesn't work that way. You can't build a strong economy on widespread hunger. That's not ideology, that's arithmetic. But instead of recognizing that reality, people are too busy doing victory laps while the ground crumbles beneath all of us. When this recession hits, and it will, remember who was cheering for it.
I got an email from EBT. I used to get $740 a month for my 2 kids. And we not getting EBT no more. They took the EBT. They saying I gotta work 20 hours a week. I'm not working for nobody. Get the fuck out of here. This is what Americans, taxpayer, work for us. They work for me. They gotta help me feed my fucking kids. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be quitters now. Y'all been helping us all this fucking time. Now y'all want to tap out. Get the fuck out of here. I want my EBT, yo. I want my EBT, and I'm not working for nobody. I'm a fucking boss. What the fuck I look like working when the government is here to help? Come on. Y'all send all that money to Iraq, Ukraine. Y'all funding all these wars. But when it's time to help the Americans, y'all don't want to fucking help us? I need my fucking EBT, yo. I need my money, yo. I need my fucking EBT. Stop fucking playing with me, yo.
All right, we need to draw a line here. Everything up until now, reasonable people struggling in a broken system, working hard and still needing help. That's valid. But this, I'm not working for nobody. They work for me. No, that's not how any of this works. This is the poster child for welfare abuse, and she's doing more harm to people who legitimately need help than any political talking point ever could. The work requirement exists for a reason. We can support a strong safety net and expect able-bodied people to contribute. Those aren't mutually exclusive. Help is supposed to be temporary assistance while you work towards stability, not a permanent lifestyle by choice. This is why defending these programs is so hard.
Now I'm homeless, pregnant, forced to be fired or quit, whatever, because my employer won't give me a job that doesn't force me to have a miscarriage. So I literally didn't do anything wrong except love the wrong man, get the wrong job, and keep trying. I just kept trying, okay? Then my mom, who had Kaiser insurance, because, you know, that's what well-to-do people do, they get medical insurance, was actively dying, and they didn't give 2 shits about her or whether she could make it or not. So I, in my not having a job, was the only one who could take care of my dying mother. And so my entire pregnancy, I took care of my dying mother. Then I tried to go back to work and take care of my mom and raise a baby. It didn't work out well.